Happy New Year and welcome to Laddering Your Success, where we help families replace confusion with clarity so students graduate with confidence, options, and direction. Today, we're discussing why most parents miss scholarship money and how to stop using our own LYS Be-Know-Do system. Once again, Happy New Year to our squad. I'm going to start off by saying Happy New Year to our founder, Festus. Happy New Year, brother.
Hey, Happy New Year. Happy to be here and happy to rock into 2026.
Man, looking fresh, fit and 40. Love it, man, with the plaid, man. Loving it, man. Got the fresh fade.
Trying, and the fresh grades, too, and the fresh grades.
Yeah, that's right. And the soon-to-be grades, still got his hairline. We thank God for that. Dr. Crawford, Happy New Year. How you doing today, man?
Hey, Happy New Year to you guys. Happy to be here as always.
Oh, for sure, man. Glad to have you, man. Oh, man, that's perfect time. Wow, look at that. Speaking of grades, the least amount of grades, the one, the only. Happy New Year to our very own Daniel Hill. How you doing, Daniel?
Good. And yourself, bro? How y'all doing, man, in 2026?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Enjoying it, man. It's good to see you guys' faces again here in 2026, man. We are in. It sounds weird, but we're here. We're in the 2000s, man. 2026. It's a beautiful feeling, though. All right, folks. So, like I said, we're going to talk about why most parents miss scholarship money and how to stop. We're going to start by talking about B. When we talk about B, we talk about your values, your principles, your characteristics. So before we discuss those systems, timelines, or money, we need to talk about who parents must be in this process. Education begins with identity, values, and leadership, not just applications. I'm going to start out by asking a crew a question. How does a parent's identity change when they move from reacting to deadlines to proactively guiding their students' future?
I think the primary change is in their executing for what's important to them and their goals and their values. And so when a person really starts finding out what they value, what's important, it clicks for everybody at different times. That's where they start to say, okay, I need to do things differently. And that shift of them doing things differently translates into their identity, translates to the kids, or sometimes it's vice versa. The identity shift translates into them doing things differently, and then their kids start to notice, and then they become more proactive.
Definitely. Dr. J. Hill, you guys got anything to drop?
I think that as far as how does the parent's identity change, I would say just responsibility right there, a sense of also relief as well, because if we know we need to take care of certain things for our child and our child's future is important to us, then we need to act on it. And so when we are doing that, we're modeling taking care of business and responsibility, because at some point that's going to pass on over, similar to what Festus said, to the student. Because when that student becomes a college student, there's certain things they're going to have to take care of by certain deadlines and due dates with registration and so on and so forth. So with the parents' identity becoming proactive, we're now teaching responsibility to our students.
Hey, can you ask the question one more time, bro?
For sure. So how does a parent's identity change when they move from reacting to deadlines to proactively guiding their students' future?
Okay. I guess it changed to being more like of a mentor, because it's at the point where your child needs to understand, hey, I want to always be there for you. So I need to show you the steps to get there, and also showing them, like, guiding them in, okay, you like this, but how would this actually help you succeed in life? So it's guiding down the process. Now, you're still always going to be their parent, but you got to do it now in a way, okay, I need to show you how the life is actually going to work if one day I'm gone, or if I can't be here, because I can't always do it step by step with you.
No, I love that. And what I love, three main themes I heard from y'all was leadership, responsibility, and being proactive. And so I think that's going to be super key when we go into the knowing portion, because a lot of parents are stressed. You've got your own life, you've got your own career, you may have a spouse, you may be doing it on your own, and you've got kids that you're trying to do this scholarship thing for. And if it's your first time, it can be super cumbersome. It can be very sporadic. It can be just full of ups and downs. And so when we get to that knowing portion, we're going to talk a little bit more about some of those things to help. My next question, we're still on B. My next question for y'all is, what emotional and academic consequences do you see when planning begins senior year?
The first one is stress, right? Is parents feel stressed out. The second one is fear, right? So, when they're stressed out and then they start having fear that, man, what happens if I don't do this or this doesn't get done? I think they start to act out of fear, which, and out of stress, which means sometimes they might not be making the best long-term decision. Fear and stress is, hey, just get into school and you'll figure it out, versus saying, hey, we could use part of this first semester because you're taking basics. Then maybe the next semester, we could get you in the right school, in the right program. Because again, just understanding where the different programs are matters. Why are you going to this school? Because this school is better in engineering. So that means whether I'm going to be a technician working underneath engineers, or I'm going to be the engineer, or whether I'm going to be doing design, architecture, whatever all that involves, this is the best place for that. And so as a parent, not having stress and fear helps with clear-minded decision-making.
I think the emotional and academic consequences, if the students and the parents wait till the senior year to begin making these plans, could lead to increased anxiety, right? Because now when we have that anxiety, we have a fear of what the future may hold. And normally, most oftentimes, we go to the worst case scenario. So when you plan early ahead of time and be proactive, you now have the time to think through everything and weigh the options, similar to what Festus said. Let me look at the different school options I have for whatever major that I'm interested in, which school has the best programs that leads to getting jobs and things of that nature, as well as which one offers scholarships and things of that nature. So when we have the time to plan, you have the time to make these adequate decisions. But wait into the senior year, now you got these deadlines and due dates coming fast approaching. And so now you're scrambling, and you might not get to the school that you want to get in. And then when we look at the academic consequences, sometimes that could lead to prolonged time in school and so on and so forth with that.
Man, love that.
Yeah, I like that. I'll say probably depends what part of senior year you start. Because some people be like, they realize over the summer, okay, it's time to get it. So it might be a little stressful, but it's not as stressful because you can still meet some of them deadlines. Most deadlines, if you start like in August. But you got people who be like starting February. That's not going to happen, Captain. You're going to be stressed out. Your FAFSA and stuff ain't going to be filled out. Your money's not going to be ready. You're not going to know what school. There's no time to go on some things, college trips. I think it was called college trips growing up. I can't remember what they called. What do you say?
Campus visits.
Yeah, thank you. Campus visits. There's no time for that. It's okay. You have to enroll by, I don't know, it's like April or something to college, apply, something like that. Now it's already too late. Now, if you start your senior year in August, then you might not be as stressed. But if you don't plan like Festus and Crawford said, it's a done deal.
Oh, definitely, man, for sure. Just back to that first point about being, right? Leadership, proactive, being responsible.
Hey, LYS fam, it's Ole. Thanks so much for listening to LYS. I just wanted to take a quick moment to talk to the parents. That's right, mom and dad. Parents, prepare your child for their best educational fit after high school with our comprehensive LYS Parents Guidebook. Our helpful guide includes a range of activities designed to help you better understand your child's unique gifts and abilities. Additionally, we provide valuable insights into the student loan debt crisis and offer practical tips on how to avoid accumulating large amounts of debt. Our ebook also includes a wealth of information on scholarships, grants, and payment exemptions that can help guide your child towards a bright and successful future. With our expert guidance, you can rest assured that your child is well prepared to make informed decisions about their education and career path. Don't let your child's future be in jeopardy. Invest in their future today by downloading the LYS Parents Guidebook. Simply go to lys.com/parents to get your copy today. Now let's get back to the show, because you know it's some good topics.
So let's jump into the knowing portion, right? We're talking about where are my resources and how do I get access to them? So knowing is about substance, understanding what is actually true about how scholarships work, not what families assume based on traditions or fear. It reminds me of one of my favorite books of 4 Agreements. Don't make assumptions, right? Let's make these decisions based on facts and where we are currently. So my first question for the squad is, what scholarship myths delay families from acting early?
The first myth is that they can't get scholarships, right? So when people believe that their attempts are futile, they tend not to act. And so that's the first myth that needs to be addressed. The second myth is that it's totally automatic. There are a lot of schools that have created really good systems and systems of support. There are also internet systems that will create alerts, but you still have to apply. There are one apps and central applications where, you know, if you fill out for a scholarship, it'll put you in for all the scholarships that are available at a particular institution, but that's not always the case. And so the thing is, just that myth where it's automatic, that's another myth that harms you. And then the last myth, I think, is where people start to believe or start to say that for certain people, there are scholarships and there's none for them. Scholarships primarily fall into 2 categories, need-based and merit-based. Now, if there's need-based, they're going to give to who has the most need and who they think will actually use the money the best, who's going to graduate, right? Because the school doesn't want to just use the money and the person doesn't graduate. That leads to more attrition or basically not passing. And then you also have to consider that as they use those dollars, they're also considering who's going to make the best alumni, what's the best use of the money, what's the best ROI. And so those are things to consider and myths that need busting.
I would say one is similar to what Festus said, that a person's situation will affect their ability to gain scholarships. And it's just a concise way of saying what Festus just went into detail about.
Yeah, it's probably the same thing. Festus pretty much covered all of it, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I was thinking with that question, there was something in my mind about what myths delay families. Oh, I think one of the things I think about as well is this notion that there's always going to be time. That was the thing that was on my mind. This notion of, oh, we can do that later, or we can set some time later on in the spring semester. And if there's one thing I've learned in this last 7-8 years working with LYS, it is that the early bird will catch the worm in regards to FAFSA, in regards to grants, scholarships, any type of financial aid that you're getting. The early bird will always catch the worm. There are people that are banking on families that are going to wait till the last minute and go sign up for some quick fix program to help them get money for their students, when they should have been doing this, to be honest with you, from the 8th grade. They should have been having these conversations with their child. So that's one of the things that came to my mind. But definitely love the conversation, love those points. So let's get into the do portion, right? We're talking about how do we take who we are and what we know and translate that into executing a plan, but not just executing our plan, executing it with excellence. So I got some action steps for everyone. I mentioned 8th grade, right? Build a grades 8 through 12 readiness timeline, right? It doesn't have to be major. It doesn't have to be some fancy document. Just get a sheet of paper and say, what are some of the things that we need to do from grades 8 through 12? Ask your student, do they even know what scholarships are for? Do you even know if we have the money or the funds to pay for any type of program or whatever you're trying to do after high school? Make sure you commit. Third thing, make sure you commit to consistency over urgency. One of the key things that we've mentioned here, one of the underlying themes, is anxiety. It's better to just save yourself that stress and that anxiety of waiting till the last minute and just knock it out, take care of it now. So I got one question for the crew in regards to the do portion. Okay, let's go over this one. I'm sorry, I'm looking at two questions. I'm trying to figure out which one I want to ask. What changes when families stop asking what scholarships exist and start asking their student, what do you think scholarships are actually for? So what changes when families stop saying what scholarships are out there and start asking their students questions like, what do you think these scholarships are actually for?
That what changes is a paradigm shift in the way you think about scholarships and how to approach them. The reason why is when you have the discussion about what are they actually for, and that discussion leads into more things, you now can see how those scholarships can apply to your particular student and their situation. And so then we can now take actionable steps to make those possibilities a reality of gaining particular scholarships.
Yeah, I say about the same thing like Crawford was talking about. But one of the main things is like it gets you out the rut and realize you can change your life. Like people is like, oh, my parents are poor, my grandparents poor, so I always be poor. I didn't go to my mom didn't go to college, my dad didn't go to college, so that means I can't go to college. Once you start asking, change your mindset, was like, what scholarship is this? Because all it takes for you to get one. You get one thing. Oh, and mom want me to make sure y'all that she told me to remind y'all or to let y'all know that Maya did graduate and to thank you, pretty much thank y'all. And also Mama talking about coming on the show again or something. But also, what do you think?
Yes.
Yeah. So they pretty much just doing this way, bro. Change your mindset. Just what can I do to get them? Once you get one, you will keep on trying. All it takes is one.
Man, so true. I think about when I was in high school, and it's a snowball effect, right? I learned about it when I started reading Dave Ramsey, is it only takes that one step. Once you take that one step, you send out that application and you get a response, whether you won or not. It was like, oh, I sent it out and they saw it. And so I think that's what really helps when you start asking, when you stop asking what scholarships are out there and you start asking, what are these scholarships even for? You know, because I love the word that you used there, Dr. Crawford, where you said a paradigm shift, because you're no longer thinking about what is, but it's more internal, right? You're not asking, if I'm getting a scholarship, what am I getting a scholarship for? You start reading what's required of a student who gets a scholarship. You're going to school for this. I don't even know if I want to do that. So I guess in a way, things start to get real. Before we continue, or before we finish up, did anyone else have anything you wanted to drop, anything that came to mind as we were talking about this topic for parents and how to discuss scholarship?
No, sir.
All righty. So remember, folks, our mission here at LYS is to equip families with systems, not stress, so students graduate with options, not regrets. Please be sure to share this with another parent or educator and make sure you subscribe. Next week, we're going to be talking about college ROI, when college makes sense and when it doesn't. For Daniel Hill, for Dr. Jamar Crawford, I'm Ole Sharanki. Festus, go ahead and give him the phrase that pays, my good sir.
So listen, there are legitimate excuses for not going to college. There is no legitimate excuse for not getting an education. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Edu Steps, and we're going to see you on the next episode.